Hey, Amber Anderson here of AmberAnderson.com, actress and acting coach. So today I'm going to be talking to you about memorization. Now the question is it important to memorize your lines before an audition? And the answer is 1000%. Now you're going to have other people coming into this audition who have memorized their lines, and the difference between what it looks like when you know what you're talking about and when you're searching on the page for what you need to say is immeasurable. I have a few techniques that have helped me through, but I mean, when it all comes down to it, the pressure of knowing when the deadline is always seems to help. But let's get into number one. Number one, relax and believe in your perfect photographic memory. So the idea is that since we were all born with the same type of brain, we all should have a photographic memory, right? Well, relax into it and believe in it. And if that doesn't work, continue on with number two. Number two, work in a place where nothing is distracting you, like a comfy couch or a recliner, listening to instrumental music or hip hop beats. Whatever it is that makes you feel completely relaxed, and therefore your mind can be more receptive and open to focus on the task at hand, which is memorizing. Number three, say your script over and over out loud. Okay, so it's one thing for you to read it, right? You're seeing it over and over again, so that's using one sense. And that kind of leaves an impression on your brain a little bit. But to go the extra mile and to hear it, now you're reading it and you're using your sense of sight, but you're also using your sense of sound to just magnify that impression on your brain so that you can memorize it even deeper. Number four, read it over and over. Depending upon who you are, the act of reading works alone in itself. So just to read it over and over, you can actually picture it. And this goes into touching upon those parts of your mind that work from a photographic memory. If you can actually see the words because you've read it so many times, then if you read it over and over, it will increase your chances of being able to see the words when you need to pull them up. Number five, record yourself and your scene partner saying your scene and play it back while you're doing other things like household chores or driving a car, riding a bike, or exercising. This way, you are adding another layer to your process of distraction while you're still listening to your scenes. That way, while you're in an audition, if anything else pops up, you'll be able to stay on task and stay focused because you were doing multiple things while you were listening to your scene previously and you were memorizing it. So now the little things that pop up won't even matter. Number six, create acronyms for words that you'd like to remember. So while we're looking over scripts, sometimes there are just certain words that won't stick. I mean, you've learned your entire scene and you keep stumbling on this one part, right? So what I do is I like to create an acronym. Let's say there are three words, no matter what happens, I trip over them, I can't remember them, and it might be medical jargon or law jargon or something that I'm not saying on a consistent enough basis. So let's say the words that I get to that I can't remember each time is dental hygienist masks. And every time I get to that part in my scene, I can't remember. I'm thinking to myself, what is it? So instead, I will take D for dental, H for hygienist, and M for masks. And when I get to that part, I will think to myself, DHM. What is it? Dental hygienist masks. And then I will remember it that way. So use your acronyms. Number seven is my favorite one. It works for me the best. So I will tape a scene with myself and my scene partner, drop out my lines, and only listen to their prompts. Every time they speak, I know that it's my turn to speak afterwards. So I'll insert my lines in between theirs. Now, when I'm listening to my scene partner's lines, it's on a certain tempo. So I know that I need to jump in a tempo that works with the scene. This really helps when you are right about to go into an audition and your scene partner's not with you, but you can listen to it right before you go in and get that tempo going and make sure that you are on your toes with your memorization. Number 8, say your lines while you multitask. Now, you've come to a good place if you've learned your lines and you can say them out loud. But if you can say them out loud and multitask, then you are in a much stronger place where you can trust yourself that you have effectively memorized your lines. But while you're saying them, while you're per se riding your bike or driving a car or doing anything in the public, I personally like to make sure that I have on an earpiece or earbuds so people that I'm passing aren't asking me, who are you talking to? Number 9, speed say your lines and then work on getting your time down. So I actually booked a job by using this technique. What I did was I was trying to say this whole monologue, this whole paragraph as fast as I could. But then I noticed that even though I was saying it as fast as I could, I was taking little pockets to think of the line. So as I started to speed say the lines and get the time down even in half, I realized this was taking out those little pockets of me thinking of what the line was. So speed say your lines because it absolutely helps, especially on one of those days when you've been shooting forever and it comes to your take and you get it down in 1 or 2 takes. Number 10 is a method that I've been using and I've heard so many people talk about for very long. So this is the pick it up line by line method that many actors use. And the idea is to read the first line, memorize it, look away from the page and say it. Then cover it up, look to the second line, memorize that one, look away and say both lines. Then cover that one up, get to the third line, say it out loud, and then look away and say all 3 lines. So every time you memorize one line, you're picking up the previous lines in order that you've already learned. And as you keep doing this, you have memorized the whole thing. But until you make one mistake, you keep going. But if you do, then you start right back at the top with the exact same pick it up line by line method until you get to the end and you haven't missed any of your lines. Well, these have been 10 acting techniques that I personally use, have used in the past, or have heard of other actor friends using. Now, if you're interested in 10 more acting techniques, feel free to click on my page and take my acting class, which is at ambreanderson.com/coach me. That's AMBRE Anderson.com/coach me. And please stay safe, stay learning, and stay having a good time. Also, if you like this video, feel free to subscribe, comment, or like. Thank you.